Good evening. I'd like to call Property Management Committee to order. First on the agenda, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Dodd? Here. Commissioner Davidson?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson? Here. Commissioner Phillips? Present. Commissioner Irvin? Here. Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Chairman McAdoo?
Here. Next, approval of minutes, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman McAdoo. I've looked over the minutes from last month's meeting and find them in order and move to approve.
And second? Second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any public comments?
No, sir.
Thank you. Facilities Maintenance Report, Director Dodd.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, before we get into our normal monthly report, there are a couple of items, one in particular that you have in front of you. This is an elevator replacement for controls and electrical components here at the historic courthouse. As you see, this letter was issued to us from TK Elevator in December of 2019, effective June of 24. And basically, this letter describes obsolete parts and an elevator that we will no longer be able to work on. So I've included the replacement for this. We've been given an estimate of $114,000 to replace the controls and the electrical components of the elevator here in this building. So this is not an action item. It's just something that Chairman McAdoo, we discussed this, and he thought that it would be something that we should bring to the committee's attention. We're building this into next year's fiscal budget so that this is not an emergency. This is something that we're planning for. And that is all that is. I wanted you to have a copy of the letter of recommendation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. $114,000. That's a total retrofit replacement. The only thing that will be remaining would be the actual cart and the shaft itself. All the components, electrical system, mechanical will be replaced.
Mr. Chairman, are they the only folks we use?
No, we have two different elevator companies. We use Otis and we use TK. TK has this account.
Okay. And just to double check, we compare the price that Otis would charge.
We have, when TK got the account, we have to, of course it goes out, the entire account, and all the buildings that are tied to that account go out for bid. So TK has consistently come in and has been awarded the bid year after year after year. So far, there have been no other elevator companies that have been able to beat their pricing. And that's annual service agreements, inspections, or part replacement.
Thank you.
Any other questions concerning the elevator? That's for information only because it will be in this coming year budget.
I'm glad we're looking at that because when I get on there and that thing clicks, it hesitates like about 3 seconds right now. It'll hesitate and finally open. And I'm claustrophobic. If it takes 6 seconds, I'm going to be clawing out of there. So I'll be glad when that time gets here.
No, that's right. Okay, continue.
The other item that I mentioned is it's a similar situation that I just described as far as parts being obsolete and equipment just being wore out. Similar to some of the controls upgrades and some of the improvements that that have been ongoing for the last couple of years at our 20 North facility, we have decided that it is a priority to upgrade the building controls and automations, the VAV boxes, the fans, all the low voltage switches and cabling at our 319 North Maple office, and that is the clerk, the register, and the assessor's office. So that equipment is all original OEM equipment. That building is approaching 30 years. So we consider ourselves lucky that HVAC equipment has been as good as it has been. But over the last couple of years, we're starting to see the same signs, get the same phone calls, and when the service technicians from Trane or CS3 with the automations, when those companies are called out, we're starting to get some of the same feedback with parts are hard to get, components have started giving out, and it's ready for replacement. Again, this is not an emergency. This is not an action item that's on the agenda tonight. This is just me making you guys aware, this committee aware, that these are just two items that we think are a priority and that should be addressed in this next fiscal year. So with that being said, you'll see these two items. You'll see these two items in our capital projects budget line for any the commissioners that are on budget. But this is not a reoccurring cost. It's a one-time increase in that budget line. And other than these two items that we're looking to address next year, our budget will remain the same as it was last year and in the previous year, with the exception of these two replacements.
Mr. Chairman, do we have a piece of paper on the second one? Or is this the piece of paper on the second one?
No, there's not a letter of recommendation on the HVAC control upgrades,
Oh,
but
okay.
the estimate I have here from the controls company, CS3, in partnership with Snyder Electric, is $93,000 is the estimate. So that budget line increase that I'm referring to will be approximately $200,000 next year. And again, that is a one-time, not reoccurring increase.
Refresh my memory, which building is it?
This is 319 North Maple.
And it's basically to replace the HVAC components.
All the components minus the chiller. So basically all the guts and all the internals that are throughout the building,
Thank you.
and building automations.
Any other questions?
Before you go on, I meant to mention it last night at the full commission meeting, the special session that we had. Regular meeting that we had in March, I made the statement that by next month, the audio system in here would have been completely redone. Found out after that meeting that that's not the case, that it won't be done until June. They'll need 2 weeks, and so after our second June meeting, IT will have access to this room for a couple of weeks, and we'll update the audio system in late June.
Okay, so we would have to reschedule our June meeting. Use 205? Okay. 205, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Phillips. Yeah.
tonight's report on the recovery court, before we get into the construction phase, last month we discussed some signage. There was an inquiry regarding signing the building. So I reached out to their staff. And basically, long story short, the reason the building is not signed is for confidentiality, privacy, and security reasons for the clients and the various programs that are ongoing at that facility. To the construction phase, our most recent OAC meeting was held on March the 21st. The project's tracking well. The contractor has made a lot of progress. The sheathing, truss, decking are now complete. Mechanical and electrical rough-in are complete, awaiting inspection. The exterior brickwork is now complete, and it looks outstanding. New subfascia board installed around the entire perimeter. Roof tear-off and new roof replacement is now ongoing. Installation of new soffit is now also ongoing. Our 4 weeks look ahead. Obviously, we want to get the roof replacement complete and get everything dried in. Installation of fascia, soffit, gutters, and downspouts. Exterior door and window installation. HVAC system to condition the new space so that interior work can begin. There are no change orders or open submittals associated with this project at this time. Phase 1 completion date will remain for May the 19th through the 23rd. And that completes this month's report on the Recovery Court addition.
Any questions on recovery court?
To our Plainview Public Health and Safety Building, the site work is ongoing and remains at approximately 70% complete. In-wall plumbing and electrical rough-in ongoing at 90% complete. Heavy and light gauge stud wall framing are now complete. Truss work should be completed by the end of this week. Metal decking installation is ongoing, followed by the wood deck. The zip board and seal tape are now complete. MTE service pole and primary now complete. Our 4 weeks look ahead. There will be several inspections taking place over the next 4 weeks to include structural, in-wall rough-in, initial and final above ceiling inspections, complete roof deck, begin shingle installation, fascia, trim, and siding work, spray foam insulation in ceilings, prep and flash work for exterior windows and doors. There are no open submittals. There are no change orders associated with this project currently. The contingency balance is currently $601,354. The project completion date remains for the first week of October 2025. And that completes this month's report on the Plainview Public Health and Safety Building.
Any questions on Plainview?
Mr. Chairman, so 600,000 is how much is left, basically, in the contingency amount? Not to be on a crystal ball, but do you see anything coming down the pike that might reduce that?
Not at all.
Okay, so there may be some additional funds at some point.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the general contractor. They still have quite a bit of work to do, but if anything, I could see that contingency number being higher at the end of the project. When we get our CO, I could see that number increasing.
Thank you.
Any other questions on Plainview?
Commissioners, that ends my report for this month, but I wanted to take a moment. I wanted to take a moment to thank this committee for being engaged in the work we're doing. You've toured several buildings, you've visited construction sites, you've attended PBA meetings. That's been on your own time, in addition to your normal responsibilities. You ask questions, you make recommendations, and it benefits all departments and it benefits the citizens. And I just wanted to say thank you.
We had a
Go ahead, Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you. We had a conversation before the meeting. The new forensic center will go under this committee's guidance, and I believe Adam will be updating this committee going forward as it relates to the progress of the forensic center. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct. Also, Director Adams do a good job of letting me know on a daily basis if there's any changes. And so therefore, I can go and investigate and we can jump right on it. So he do a good job of that. And I appreciate that.
Thank y'all.
Move to approve the report.
Motion to approve, do I have a second? Second, Commissioner Davidson. All those in favor? Thank you. Next on the agenda, transfer station update, Director Wagner.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman. Here is our, I think this will be our final update on this project. Seems like we just started this yesterday, isn't it? So this is what it looks like, what a transfer station building looks like when it's complete. There's the layout like we've shown on each one of these. So here's the site work. The concrete has been completed. The grade and landscaping are in their final stages. The water and sewer connections are nearing completion. They're setting the vault for the water meter. They were doing that today. We will have the water meter set up and the water connection hooked up. I think we're looking at April 7th will be the day when they turn that loose for the testing. We'll be looking at getting the fire marshal out there to test the fire suppression system and the rest of the units. By April 14th, we should be doing our punch outs and walking around doing the final walkthroughs. So there's some images from the interior of the transfer station. Looking at the pit, that's the one in the upper left-hand corner, and then the one at the right is looking out from inside at that pit location from the top. The office building, this is how rapidly this project is going along. We took these photographs this morning. There's flooring already down in that building right now that I saw. We had the OSC at 1:30 this afternoon, so they're already putting the flooring down in the office building, and it's wrapping up. The scale house is in the same condition. They've got it completely enclosed. Everything's done on the inside as far as the paint work and trim. It's just a matter of getting the flooring down, and then they're going to put the solid wood doors inside. If y'all want to see some good work that our highway department can do, come on down Landfill Road. It's like an airport. I mean, it is beautiful, beautifully striped. It's just a joy to run down. Greg Brooks and his staff really knocked it out of the park for the county on this. I couldn't be more tickled. It is complete. The stations, so the first 600 stations 600 feet from Jefferson Pike to the 600 feet from the road down Landfill Road was done by Hawkins and Price, is currently still under construction. This is from that 600 station to the end of the location, and it's completely finished, striped, and has final topper on it. Here is some images from the Jefferson Pike tie-in location. If we looked on the left-hand side there, that's the turn-in lane that's there. It's all under PUG right now, or they're filling in the gravel to get it to subgrade so they can prepare it to put the binder course down, which is the first layer of asphalt to seal it off. This is done, so it's done by Hawkins and Price was let to do it, but they're doing it in conjunction with TDOT because it's a state highway. And then there's some views looking at it as you're turning in from the ingress and out. They're going to remove that little, I don't know if we can see it in there, the little island there that's in the middle that's dirt. They're going to remove that too because it's going to be a full intersection there. There will not be that little island that's been there before. The pole's been removed and everything's ready to go. It was one of the things that they had a stop sign in there, and they wanted to keep the stop sign up as much as possible because of the traffic there. When they go to make the move to pull it out, they'll remove the stop sign and place them to the side of the roads where they belong. They've had to put some structures, some stormwater structures underneath both the entrance to the Walter Hill Convenience Center and then across the road to let water go under the road from the Republic Services property onto the, well, also Republic Services property, but the Matthews property that's adjacent, it drains under there, across there, so there won't be overflow that happens from that on the design. And so we had our final OSC today to talk about, there'll be another meeting probably when we do our walkthrough and punch out when all of the details will get wrapped up. We've had 4 separate contractors working on this project, 4 separate supers, 4 separate, everybody in here has been their own company, and we've had this beautiful cooperation that's happened amongst both of them. This project, if you remember, in earnest started 14 months ago. This is a massive, major undertaking that took 14 months to build. I can't imagine a set of scenarios with the weather we've dealt with that could have helped facilitate this in a way that it happened. The amount of concrete that got poured, the amount of the site itself initially was a borrow area from a landfill, so there was not a whole lot of soil to work with. There was a lot of blasting, there was a lot of earth moving, there was a lot of engineered fill that was placed and designed in there, and and we had no utilities. We were really praying about whether we could get to go under the river or whether we were going to have backup plans. So, everything has fallen in place just the way that it had to make this project a success. And I owe it all to everyone, y'all, the commission, the mayor's office, the contractors involved, everybody that had a say in the part of how this got done. It really worked out very beautifully, and I'm proud to have been a part of it. As small of a part as I've been of it. I try not to get too dirty when it comes to that stuff. So I wanted to make sure that was said. I've got another topic that's happened just recently, and I'm going to brag on my guy back there. He's already, it's Adam Dodds who I'm talking about. He's already squirming because he knows what I'm going to say. But Adam and I have, we cross paths before in different projects and different needs that the county has come up. But it's not really common, especially in a department as self-sufficient as ours, to utilize Adam's department. He's come for some things when we needed him. Over the last few projects, the Haley Road project was one huge one that he did for us. This project here as being, in some cases, just a sounding board to see if I was losing my mind on decisions where we were going, and helping with us getting furniture and fixtures taken care of in the facility. Adam has gone above and beyond what I would anticipate would be his normal job duties to help the county in this way. And I couldn't appreciate another fellow director more than I do Director Dodd, and I wanted to make sure that his committee heard that from me, that you have a real asset there, and if he was looking for a job and didn't want that one, I'd hire him over with me. So, because he's great. We did one thing this week. We started to work toward the dismantling and repurposing of the awnings that were at the old driver testing center over there at the location. I think that will be where the new county clerk's parking lot will be. I'm not real sure. I haven't looked at those plans too heavily and won't. Is that where the forensic center is going to be, or
EMS?
in that area? EMS?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to look at those plans. I promise I won't mess with those. His staff and my staff met together, and we got those down in a day. We got them loaded up. They're going to be repurposed for a truck washing station at the shop facility that's on Landfill Road. So that's the use of those. That probably saved about $22,000 a taxpayer dollar by reusing that equipment. So again, thank you, Adam, and thank you all for lending him to me for a while.
Any questions? Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Budget, are we on budget with the building? We on budget, under budget, over budget?
We're significantly under budget.
Under budget. Very good. When the thing is open and operational, are there inspections? Does TDAC come by and inspect something like that?
Yes, so that building will be, I have an active permit now, so we've met all the criteria for that according to design, and then we will be on an inspection schedule where we will, I think initially we probably will be seen quarterly, and then it'll go to probably every half a year pending any complaints. It's real similar to the type of inspection. In fact, I would expect it to happen simultaneous to our landfill inspections that we receive, to where they'll come and do the post-closure and then the Class 3 landfill inspection, and then they'll come over and do transfer station to take care of all their eggs while they're in the facility. It's the same regulators that would do that.
Operational date when you're going live?
On or before July 1st. I think July 1st is still going to be our solid date. It's on our contract, so that's what we're gunning for.
Budget questions. When you put together your budget for next year, this will be a new budget item, okay? You're working on that right now, I'm assuming.
Correct. I'm working with Michael and Director Smith and the mayor's office on coming up with a couple different aspects. Part of the reason why we'll have a building and probably a certificate of occupancy well before the July 1st date, but we still need to do some things like set the rates, get the how are we going to be able to legally process these accounts and these bills as they come through? And this is a new endeavor for Rutherford County, so we want to make sure that we do everything the right way, or as close to right as we can the first time out, so we don't have to backpedal and change a bunch of things downstream.
I'll make a request, and I'm not sure that the rest of the commission feels this way, but as you're putting that budget together, take a shot in the dark as to what you think the operating budget will be for the next 5 years. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I think the commission would like to know maybe what we're looking at over the next 5 years. And once again, I know that it depends on a whole number of things, but your best guess. We ask other departments to do that, and I'd like to see maybe what the operational cost for that would be. And I know there's some offset to that cost. I know, once again, that's probably asking for a lot, but give it your best shot.
I absolutely will. We're working on it too. I think that we're going to be, what we've seen so far, and some of the preliminaries that we've gone through, I think that we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how well this works out for the county.
Commissioner Johnson?
Mentioned the Haley Road. Could you kind of give us an update on where we stand on that? Because we haven't heard in a while.
Excellent. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't have any pictures. I was there this morning, so I should have taken. So I met today with an engineer, a design engineer, and I've come up with a potential other plan for redesign for that would help us to avoid any infringement with TVA transfer lines that are above us, so we fulfill their obligations and provide that level of service that we want. So he's working on it. They started today. He's going to be working on getting us something together. I'm going to have a site survey and an as-built done out there, which is something we can do relatively quickly. I reached out to them as well. So I'm encouraged that we found a solution to this major problem, which was placing these on this property. And I'm anxiously looking at, I want to see what the design proposal is that comes back from them. Once I get that, then we'll have something that we can share with Mike Hughes and Doug, and I'd like to go over to the city and have their input on it, because it's here in Murfreesboro, see if that's going to meet their needs and requirements as they go, and then, of course, we'll bring it before the commissioners to see what the ideas are and the use of that facility. I'm excited that there looks to be a ray of hope in being able to overcome that obstacle, because for a minute there I was wondering whether or not we were going to be able to utilize that facility for its needs.
Any other questions for Bishop? If not, entertain a motion. Motion second. Second, all those in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Doing it. Okay, under other business, I would like to bring up our next tour. Our next tour, I'm thinking, since we're beginning to get questions on the new EMS building, the forensic center, I think our next tour should be at that site, at the new EMS and forensic site, with the plans and everything, and maybe a contractor or somebody there to show us the layout of the new EMS building and the new forensic building. And so we all on this committee will know where it's located, how it's facing, and know the facts, just in case somebody asked you, all for your personal knowledge. But I think that should be the next tour. And I think we should meet there at 3:30 in the afternoon prior to our next meeting, if it's all possible. I'm asking the committee for your input on that tour. Sir. 17th is our next meeting. Isn't it? Our next meeting is the 24th. Yeah, 24th. May 1st. That's well, let's discuss this meeting date then. Let's discuss this meeting date. I thought it was April 24th, but you're saying it's May 1st because it's the 4th? Way I'm looking at the calendar, I see what you're saying about May the 1st, but it looked like it will fall back on the 4th Thursday, which would be the 24th. That's the 24th. If all committee members accept that, now if we want to change it, that's fine with me. But April the 24th, and we will meet at the site at 3:30. Probably all of us will meet in front of Lisa Building. Park, in front of Lisa Building, then we can proceed from there. If there's no objections. Okay? Any other business to come before us tonight? I'm looking at each and every commissioner to make sure I don't miss anything. If not, the meeting adjourned.